Dr. Harry taught me a long time ago. He said, you know what it means when a minister checks his watch? Not too much. True story, yeah, so 5 minutes. So first of all, I really want to thank the community of Spiritworks, the choir, the band, the practitioners, the board of trustees, this community that has provided this space for us to come together and celebrate together today, and also my own community of Granada Hills. Just the support that you have shown me as I've stepped into this really great job, this really great way to be in the world. And I'd also like to acknowledge, because we're live streaming, you know, what you need to know about the McMorrows is that there's a lot of us. And so I have family on the East Coast. My brother Sean's here. And so for my brothers and my sister are on the East Coast, and my father Mike and Eileen, his wife. And I have nephews serving in Afghanistan, in Japan, and my niece in Kansas, my nephew on the USS Kidd, and other young friends who may be watching. And I look forward to the day when their kind of service is no longer needed. So to them, I'd like to say, hey. And Reverend Ann. You know, Reverend Ann was the one person who was in our ministerial class as I looked around those first couple of nights, those first couple of classes where I looked around and I said, you know what? That chick could already be doing this. Because she just brought that kind of consciousness. So you had two extremes. The diamond on the rough was really quite a high compliment. Like a dirt clod on the end. And then Ann. And let's just say that I have always admired the skill and the consciousness that she has brought to everything that she does. That we wanted to do this together because Reverend Ann was the first so-called hybrid minister in training when we were all talking about the possibility of integration. And so now we are that. So it's just really a great honor and a privilege to be doing this with you. And to, man, I didn't know I had to make all those commitments. One of those Hindu wedding ceremonies. Step in, each step. And yet what I know about that is that there's nothing else that I would rather be doing right now. That I believe in this teaching, that I know that this teaching is that the one unifying idea that really can bring all of us together to create a world that works for everyone. that as people become more comfortable with the idea that there is only one thing, and that thing is God expressing itself in, through, and as all things. All things? Yeah. All things. All people? Yeah, all people. Even the gays? Yeah. The blacks? Yeah. Even the Irish? And so it is but a step in stepping into this field of unity, which is really what we're striving for when we say to create this, to release people to their own spiritual magnificence, is to honor them for who they are, where they are, knowing that we are all expanding in consciousness, which means we are expanding in love. And that as we get more comfortable in that vulnerability, right? As we get more comfortable living in the soft place, instead of having to have our armor up all the time, that we in fact can create the world of love that is Christ consciousness. So it's pretty simple stuff. You know, the Buddha didn't get caught up talking about metaphysics much, and neither did the Master Teacher Jesus. He just gave us simple stuff to do. And in a real way, even though we have a big old textbook, you know, Holmes has done the same thing. To me, the science of mind teaching has just been about, what if God were good and only good? What if every prayer were answered? Right? And then living our life knowing that to be the truth. That's a very powerful couple of ideas and very revolutionary. And I think it is from this place that we, in our little communities, right, that we are transforming first our own communities and then that ripple effect. So that now when we watch Oprah, she's no longer, the people who are on there are no longer the exception. They're more and more the rule. And so I'm just very grateful that I found this teaching. I'm glad that before that I was able to put the plug in the jug so I could actually hear the call when it came in. That's where my path started. And so I can't really talk about one without talking about the other. So it is a life of recovery in every area of my life. Health, wealth, creative expression, and relationships. And so I'd like to thank you all again for being here today. Man, you guys are dynamite to come out here and support us today, our brothers and sisters in ministry. I saw some of our friends from the Spiritual Unity Movement over at the Onion. It's really great to see you, and I know that we have other ministers from other traditions who are here today, and I just love all of it, and I love all of you, so thanks very much.
I must add my own thanks to everyone who is in this room, everyone who couldn't be here this evening but is with us in spirit, online. I know that I and Michael as well feel your love, feel your presence, feel your support, feel your seeing of us. I say about Michael that he's my brother from another mother. And, you know, it's, Dr. Maureen spoke of it, the relationships that emerge through this process, that emerge through our classwork, that emerge through being at Silmar, that emerge through being of service at other centers, that emerge in our own communities, that emerge in our workplaces, that actually contribute in ways that are hard to define to who Michael and I are on this stage today. But every single thread, hello, that was the truth. Every single thread contributes to the tapestries that we are and that we bring. And our teachers are a key component of that. And earlier today when I spoke at service, I acknowledged my arrival here on the aisle, third row from the back, on that side, the far side. And I got here because someone insisted that I come. And they insisted so often that I finally came. Kind of kicking and screaming, but it was the only way that I could get them to leave me alone. And it changed my life. Because I came back, and then I came back, and then the next thing I knew, I was taking my first class. And I was in a class of 30, a first year class of 30, which by some standards, I guess, isn't all that big, but by my standards, it felt big. And we all became connected through this class experience. And then I took another class. And then I took another class. And each teacher along the way, starting with Dr. Marlene Morris, Roger Aldi, each teacher along the way led me to, brought me to, dragged me to, not really, this moment. And of course, prior to this moment, to have the grace to sit across the desk from Dr. Maureen Hoyt and have her say yes. Because I was a bridge, and I was asking what had up until then been the unaskable, and she made it possible. So the journey is about learning, is about willing to take the next class, take the next step. Every single minister sitting here is nodding their head. Because this is not an arrival. What we're celebrating today is not an arrival. It's a beginning. And you are all here to help us step out. And I love you. Thank you.
you're all, of course, invited to join us downstairs for the reception to meet the candidates. And they're candidates, they're not candidates anymore. to meet the it people. So go hang out with the it people. I am the senior director here, which means, except for Maureen's wonderful benediction, which will be the same. I just share this, which I think you've all experienced. Dr. Ken spoke to it. And the robes, you know, we only do this for ceremony. And the reason that the robe exists, the original idea of the robe, is the idea of the seamless garment. That you put on the wholeness, the mantle of wholeness, the mantle of your completeness. And you walk with that in the world. And of course, as Ken made reference to, that's something we can all do. We can recognize that we have been born in the image of wholeness. And we can call that wholeness into our lives in every way, shape, or form. To know people who, for whatever reason, whatever they had to put down, to listen up. To know people who listen up. And who, with or without any kind of right, decide to take on the role. Is truly a great thing. You have shared your gift with all of us today. We are all made stronger because of it. And every one of us can reach up and put on the role. I thank you for being here. We look forward to seeing you along the way. And until we meet again, trust you.
We can do that. Yes, we can do that. This is something that I would love all of you to share in, and if you wouldn't mind to humor me for this one, in the consecration tonight, that's up to you. In your own unique and wonderful way, to bestow a blessing on these two beautiful people who are just going to be standing here and receiving your blessing. So, in your own unique and wonderful way, whatever your affirmation is, what are you doing here? Bring it on, bring it on. Yes, a blessing can be bestowed by anyone. It doesn't have to be a minister or practitioner. It is anyone who sees the light of God in these two people. And however you choose to do it, please open your hearts and begin right now by giving them the blessing of all blessings. Woo!
Walk out with your God out, baby.
You rock.
There you go. Thank you. Now the last step, if you will repeat after me. Wherever I am.
Wherever I am.
That is where the center of the universe is.
That is where the center of the universe is.
Wherever I am.
Wherever I am.
That is where meaning has its beginning.
That is where meaning has its beginning.
To know that I have a purpose in this world.
To know that I have a purpose in this world.
To know in every fiber of my being that I am important and unique.
To know in every fiber of my being that I am important and unique.
To know that without me, the world would not be the same.
To know that
without me, the world would not be the same.
To actually know that I make that much difference.
To actually know that I make that much difference.
That is walking on water. Nancy, would you please come up? Reverend Nancy Woods.
So it is a privilege to say this because of you. These are wonderful friends. That is just one presence. And I want you to join me in knowing that that one presence, that one divine intelligence that knows absolutely all things is what has gathered us here today, gathered us into this consciousness of knowing that two of its beloved that have dedicated themselves to reaching out and helping others. It has gathered all of us under this truth. We know that we are its representative, we are in expression. Is to know today was a divine event. To know that that great love that fills each one of us, and I do feel the love here. That love is what is going to carry each one of them forward. That love that we are pointing forth from our hearts. Because we know who and what we are. We are able to bless and know the beauty of the results. We're able to know and understand that we have been gifted with an opportunity to step into our own greatness with this teaching. And know that everything that takes place from this moment forward is a glorious event. I am so grateful. I truly do appreciate being on this bus with all of you. And I love the leadership that we have chosen. And know their greatness is a reflection of my own. So I can say, glory, hallelujah. I know that I'm on my way. And it's joined together in knowing this truth. And so